G'day, Big V. We are with our Youth League podcast here today. We're going to go swiftly through our ladders after round 8, see where everyone is standing now. VYC men, we have two conferences, obviously, so we're going to start with the Terrell Conference. Mark, who is first?
Yeah, so first up, Ted, we got Knox, who are sitting 9-2 and sitting on top of the table. They're currently on a 4-game win streak and have been looking the goods, really. I like the fact they've got a good balance of some new players and some experienced players, which leads to a whole variety of different scorers. I know their NBL 1 team's fairly young, so they pushed some kids ahead there early. But this Knox team is showing the depth across that Knox junior program.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Second place, we have Dandenong. Also, they're sitting 8-3, coming off a 6-game win streak at the moment. Quite a new number of faces over there with the Rangers. So they've shifted a little bit. They're an extremely high offensive-driven team. So they like to get out and go. They got quite a few different offenses, but they're very, very prone to just get out and play offense. They're physical, they're energetic, and they're ready every single week.
And in third, we got Eltham sitting 6-5, and they've lost the last 3. I think they've shown some inconsistencies, and it seems to be due to the NBL 1 roster and the rotations going through there. It is negatively impacting this Eltham squad. They're very well drilled on both ends of the floor, and I think if we start talking about finals time, I think this team will be thereabouts for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Sandringham sitting 6-5 as well. Quite like Eltham, they're sort of inconsistent with their roster due to NBL 1. When they do have those clashes, they do lose some of those bigger bodies and those high-end players that are able to jump down and play in that youth league team. A very middle-of-the-road sort of unit here. They don't do anything spectacular on either end. They don't have any of these guys who can do amazing things and consistently get these guys wins. So they're going to find something to spark their second half of the season.
Yeah, for sure. Down fifth, we've got Casey, who are sitting 5-5. They've only won 1 of their last 5 after having a really strong start to the season. I've got a feeling they might be having a few issues along with some injuries and some player movement going up and down. So, the good thing with Casey, they've got plenty of young bodies, plenty of depth coming through there. They've got a really bright future, and I guess right now that's being tested.
Frankston sitting 5-5. They have done very well as of late, winning 4 of their last 5. They've found this sort of groove now moving up into youth championship. Perry and Hastings are an extremely tough backcourt to match up again. Expect them to consistently have great games together.
Yeah, for sure. And we go down to 7th place, which is we've got the reigning champs Ballarat with a 2-7 record. Unfortunately, they're not the championship team they were in 2022. They've only won 1 of their last 5. I just wonder if there's other people coming back to return to this squad. But with 3 games behind Frankston ahead of them in 6th place, it's looking a little bit like they might be involved in our youth league grading process, Ted.
Yeah, absolutely. Another team that might be in that youth league grading process is McKinnon, sitting 2-7 as well. Struggling, winning just the 1 of their last 5. They're battling on both sides of the floor. They're not a highly offensive rated team, and they are struggling to get stops defensively. Their 7 games have been away, so just the 2 games at home. So they are struggling, but maybe once they get those string of home games, they'll be a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, for sure. And I've got a feeling you're going to want to take this first in the Watson conference here, Ted.
Yeah, sure, I'll take it. We got first up is Kilsyth, sitting 8-2. They've dropped just their very first game of the season and their last after just this weekend. They're an extremely well-drilled, fast team. They are organised, they are deep, they are a finals contention unit.
And then we've got Melbourne. Now, Melbourne are a really interesting side. They're up and flying when they've got those. I think there's 2 or 3 of those NBL 1 guys flying around in terms of Mason Gaze and Taj. But they're inconsistent because of those changes. Those roster changes sort of leave them hanging a little bit when they're unavailable. But they are incredibly strong at full strength and will be one of the championship favourites. However, it'll be interesting if they can string some wins together consistently.
Absolutely. Ringwood sitting third at 6 and 4th in Watson Conference. Nothing easy against Ringwood. They've been this way for a number of years, and there's no sight of them changing at all. They've won 4 of their last 5. Again, they got a good mix of young and old with a Halen Ben Lincoln still there. They have moved Seb Lees into that NBL 1 team, so they've had to bring in some newer guys. But are they deep enough to move their way into finals?
Down in fourth place, we've got Nuttall Spectres. Now, they're coming off a tough weekend where they split the games. They would have loved to go 2-0, but unfortunately went down to a game winner against Blackburn, a tough one from the corner. They're struggling with some inconsistency with their roster due to NBL 1. I mean, where we're giving these young players some opportunity up in the NBL 1 team or the senior team, it is impacting their youth league squad. They're right there if they're full strength. I do believe they're going to be able to make finals, but we're just struggling to string fourth quarters together at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Fifth place, we have Waverley sitting 4 and 6. Some weird, interesting, inconsistent playing styles. They'll play quick and then they'll play slow. They'll attack and they'll penetrate and transition, and they'll slow it down. They'll try and feed the post, which is, it is a little bit harder to guard. They have a good variety of athletes. They can penetrate well. They can get on ring. Not quite the shooting team that they probably think they are.
Yeah, and then down in sixth position, we've got Diamond Valley, who probably a little bit of a surprise to find them down in sixth with a 3 and 7 record. They've got a lot of weapons on their roster, and they were probably expecting to have a better season, or at least a better start to the season. They love to play in the half court, find some ISOs, but at the moment they seem to be struggling with some depth and not quite getting the punch they need off the bench.
Blackburn sitting at 7th with a 2 and 7 record after a very nice win over the weekend. A very, very positive and hopeful group. These guys have that do or die attitude where they just play out every single game no matter what the scoreline is. So huge credit to this group. Again, but they do struggle to sort of string quarters together. They'll have a good quarter and then they'll struggle. They'll have a good few minutes and then they'll struggle again. So a little bit more consistency and they might string some wins together.
Yeah, and then down in 8th place, we've got Keilor with a 2 and 7 record. They've only won 1 of the last 5. At the moment, they're really struggling offensively, but they do have a really good young group. I know their under 18s are a very strong group too, so they do have a fair bit of talent coming through. In the second half of the year, they will look to build that experience and hopefully be able to get some more wins together.
Absolutely. That'll be all for us, guys. Catch you later.